Welcome. I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I sell the products from Stampin' Up and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I'll have the free detailed directions for this project on my website. You'll see where to find all of that at the end of this video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I have long been turning my scraps into resources. If I'm going to make one card, I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 cards. So when I go to score, I take the 8.5 by 11. I score it at 4 1/4 and then cut it in half so I have 2 card bases. I also create these large layers that are 4 by 5 1/4. And then these layers, which are 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. But I've been finding I want to have tags conveniently available. And so I created this box that are for tags. And this is the project I'm going to show you today. So if I need a basic white tag, I have some already ready to go. If I have very vanilla, a while ago I showed you a project where I showed you the many messages and the messages dies. And it's actually one stamp that stamps all these messages and one die that cuts them all out at the same time. And now there's a new stamp that's called Many Happenings. When I show that to you, I wanted a way of storing them. I knew I needed something better, so I thought of this box. I did say that I've got the basic white and the very vanilla. I probably should have one for black, for basic black, and I do have some for other colors, but I realized that I don't really want to sort through all the colors here, and I don't really want to have 53 bags of colors. So what I've done is I've just added a bag to my already organized cards. Those would be for the labels that are not already stamped with a greeting. I had those heavy-duty bags that I put my taggers in, but this project will work just fine with our clear envelopes. You're going to want one sheet of 12 by 12 cardboard. I think you're going to want something sturdier than what comes in the back of our designer series paper. Then we have kind of 2 other thicknesses of cardboard. This one doesn't really bend very easily. This one does, and this is the one that I used to make my box. And this cardboard is actually 12 1/4 inches. The next thing you're going to do is switch out your cutting blade on your trimmer. I keep my used dull blades because when I cut the magnet sheets for my die storage or cardboard or other things that are hard to cut, it really dulls your blade. And so rather than dulling your good blades, I switch out to the used blades. You're going to cut your cardboard down to 10 1/2. If it doesn't cut all the way through, you can just flip it over and cut on this side too. If your cardboard is actually 12 by 12, you want to cut it to 12 by 10 1/4. Next, we're going to score it at 3 3/4 on all 4 sides. If you're using the actual 12 by 12, you're going to score it to 3 5/8 on all sides. I do press hard and go over it several times. So now we want to crease on those folds. It will crack. That's okay. We will be covering all of that up, so it does not matter. Next, we want to cut here and here, here and here to the score line. And then we want to cut here at 1 7/8. And I don't think I figured out the measurement for the smaller. So my math was off, and rather than figuring out the math, I'm just going to mark that about in the middle. And that's where I'm going to cut. Then we're going to put adhesive on these side flaps. You just put the box together like so. Then we're going to cover it with Designer Series paper. You can use anything. I'm using the hand penned. You want to pick something that doesn't really have a definite up and down and sideways, because we're going to be looking at this paper from different sides. And basically you want to center your box about the middle of the Designer Series paper, about a 1/2 inch from the side. Make sure it fits fairly evenly. Then I covered the side of my box with multi-purpose liquid glue. Sometimes I forget this big end is even here, but it's really helpful for spreading glue around on a large area, and it's perfect for this application. Then set the box on your Designer Series paper about a 1/2 inch from the side, and press well. Cover the bottom of the box with glue, and then fold and press. You want to kind of finger press the corners. You can use the bone folder to really spread it and get a good crease on the side too. More glue for the other side of the box. Fold it over and press well again, using your bone folder for a good crease. Spread it out as well as you can. And then I kind of finger pressed the sides to get a good crease there. Pinch it. Use the bone folder to kind of get a straight fold to start out with, and more finger pressing. Do that on both sides of the box. And then use your paper snips to cut on those folds. Then fold one side down, and you're going to be kind of marking where the edge of the box is and trimming that down. I have a corner cut out, but we're going to be covering that up, so it will not matter at all. And more glue. You want to be sure to get glue on all the way to the edges of this third layer of Designer Series paper. Finger press to get good creases. And then repeat on the other side. And if your edges do not come right to the edge of the box, you can trim that down. I'm evening up the overlap, then snip down to the edges of the cardboard on all four corners. More glue for that flap. use the bone folder to get a really good sharp edge there. And fold it to the inside, press it down. And you're going to repeat on all four sides of the box. Really get into those corners so that's nice and smooth. You could stop at this point. It really looks pretty finished. I'm going to take it one step farther and put some coordinating cardstock on the inside so that really you'll just see the cardstock or the designer series paper on this whole box. On my directions, I used pale papaya for the inside, but for this box I'm using garden green. You're going to cut it to 3.5 inches, and you'll need two pieces that are 2 7/8 and two that are 4 3/4. And you'll also need one for the bottom that is 2 7/8 by 4 3/4. You want to have that cardstock going all the way to the corners and really get in there with the bone folder to press it tight into the corners. And then put the bottom in last. So now I've got dividers, and the number of dividers depends on what you want to put on there. I use pale papaya for the blank labels and also for the greetings. And then I use garden green for the images like flowers, dragonflies, butterflies, that kind of thing. Then you want to cut down your bags. The dividers are 4 3/4 by 4, and you'll cut the clear medium envelopes down to 3 3/4 and put one behind each divider. Next, we need to make the top, and we're just going to use designer series paper. It's not going to be a very sturdy top. We want to just fold up the sides. We don't even have to measure this. Just fold up the sides, find the edges of the box, and then crease it. You don't want to get this too tight. Otherwise, it'll be difficult to get your top off. Whenever you're making a box, using a bone folder to get good sharp creases is always a good idea. We want to make the sides of the box even all the way around. My box sides are about 3 inches. And then we're going to snip just like we did for the box bottom. I think it's probably easiest to just put the designer series paper on top of the box and then fold it in while it's there so it's not too snug, but it fits just right. And I do want to make sure that the edges have adhesive on it. If you wanted this to be just a little bit sturdier, you could trim the corners and fold that. You do want to have a very good crease for this. And of course you're going to want adhesive on the edge there too. Then you're just going to tie a ribbon around your box. Tie it in a bow. Trim the ends. I pulled a tag out of my box that's in pale papaya, and I'm stamping for you. That's from the Elegantly Said stamp set. Punching a hole. Then I'm tying that on with about 10 inches of linen twine. And then there's my decorated tag box. No more scraps. Here is the web address for this project, where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. You'll be able to click the links to be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! Also on my website, you can click Home near the top of the page to find lots of resources. Under Shop, you can find the products I offer to make crafting more convenient, how to get free products with my frequent shopper rewards, and a link to my online store at Stampin' Up! Click Inspiration to scroll all my projects back to 2011, most with detailed directions and videos. Though the products in those older projects have been retired, you may find techniques, layouts, and color combinations to inspire you today. If you're new to stamping, you might want to take a look at the basics. You'll find out how to cut card bases and layers, and what's special about Stampin' Up!, and some of my favorite tools. Under Organization, you'll find tons of free resources such as catalog tabs, labels and case inserts, color tools, and much more. You can take a tour of my craft wall. More organization means more time for crafting. Come stamp with me here in Ventura County, California, or get the best deal of all and join my team of crafters. The team is called SIP Together, and it stands for Stamps, Ink, and Paper Together. The team is made of crafters who want to save money on the products they buy, share with a few friends, or grow a business like mine. Be sure to subscribe to my website and on YouTube. Talk to you soon. Bye.